Yo, 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 yo. It is always, and this is James. And we are back. Sorry.
You had coffee this morning?
Maybe too much.
Okay.
Too much.
What's up, people? We're back. Yes, like he said, like we never left.
Yeah.
It's the James and Ori show.
As always.
I'm James Silas.
And
this is Oris. And today, as usual, like we've always done, is give you our analysis and our thoughts on entertainment stories.
The biggest entertainment stories in the world.
Exactly, locally and internationally. So, which one are we starting with today?
The Davido come first. You want to talk about that? Because I saw a few people who were saying, I mean, we have worked as journalists for a long time. And so that whole thing where, I don't know if you saw it, if you guys saw it online, but there was a press conference where someone asked what looks like, or what some people say is the question that must not be asked. Of course, the question was, why didn't Davido infuse his album with anything that concerns the tragedy of last year? And for some people, they felt like it was an inappropriate question to ask David.
A sensitive question.
Yes. And to be honest, I don't agree. I think James does, but I don't agree.
Wait. That it's insensitive?
Yes.
Why would I agree to that?
Okay, super. Okay, so yes. This one time, yeah, on the same side. So yes, so I don't agree. He doesn't agree either that it was insensitive. The point of the matter is, but I think everybody did what they're supposed to do. The guy asked what he needed to ask, to be honest. Davido answered in the most incredibly mature way possible, because what he said is true. He doesn't want to mix his life with his music. Entirely fine. When you are grieving, they say, hey, you can take a leave of absence. You don't come back and start telling everybody off your day that look what happened. You know, everybody knows and they grieve with you. You don't have to come and do all of that. You can, but you don't have to. So it's his right. Then Asa trying to protect his friend from that kind of question. Also what he should do. So I think everybody did what they needed to do.
So yeah, I mean, like you said, everybody doing what their part, because as journalists, you really, this is your job to ask the questions. It's your job to. Sometimes the questions are spontaneous. Sometimes you're not even trying to because sometimes if you try to calculate or try to overthink that question, you see you might miss out on a very important response or answer that you might get at the end of the day.
Exactly.
And the truth is that at the end of that whole press conference, see that session, that very question and the responses that followed became the highlight of the whole press conference.
There's a chance that we wouldn't have heard what had happened there if that question wasn't asked.
Absolutely.
And as a media person, as a journalist, it's kind of like your job, to be honest. Yeah.
Truth is that if it was, outside of Nigeria, they will ask more questions.
Yes, they might even follow up questions to that particular question.
It's life. I mean, life happened to Davido, and people want to know. Some people still want to know how exactly he still feels and everything.
Yes.
But shout out to everybody who was involved. I feel like
everybody discharged their duties in the way they should. So Asa's manager and friend is like, you know what, maybe
he did well.
Don't answer that. Well.
Yeah.
That's exactly what he should do, to be honest, in this situation. Davido chose to answer it and answered it in like incredibly mature way. Fine. Journalists needed to ask something that everybody, to be honest, has been thinking about, and he did. And again, I think a part of it that's not many people, I've not seen many people talk about, is that journalist there's a good chance he's not an Ebuka. He's not even on our radio here. So it means that kind of atmosphere, which some people assume that you can ask that only when you are in an intimate
relationship, friendship,
friendship or professionalism, like a close interview. If I'm talking to James and there's certain sensitive things, you want to feel like, because we are like this, I'm here. This intimacy of this setting means that I can ask certain type of things and it will not be considered as insensitive.
Yes.
But when you're at a press conference and there's a distance, it looks like that's a lot of things to do in that kind of atmosphere. But the fact of the matter is that there is no way, I think, that journalist would have ever gotten a Davido one-on-one.
Facts.
What really are his opportunities to ask something that people really wanted to know about? So I felt, yes, people who are not in the media or don't play the journalism game or not whatever, feel some way about it, they are fine to feel that way about it. But the fact of the matter is that if you're a journalist, you cannot criticize what that guy did. You just can't. You know that's the game, that's how it's played.
Facts. In fact, you come back to this office and your editor is going to ask you, why didn't you ask this question?
Exactly. Yeah. So people are, of course, Davido, he's everybody's trying to protect and pamper Davido at the moment, and for good reason. Totally understand why that's the case. But yeah, you have a job to do as a journalist, which is to get the reports, get the scoop, you do it whatever way you can, to be honest.
At the end of the day, other journalists that came there did not ask a question, are writing the question. Or
exactly, yeah, that response, exactly. They're reporting exactly what this guy asked. So I just wish, to be honest, he even got some kind of fame from it. Like maybe they gave us his face or they gave us his name or the platform he writes for.
Yes.
You know, you kind of made that guy's career, actually, to be honest, you know.
Fact.
But it's not that we don't know who the person was.
I'm sure if we check.
Of course, because we're in industry, we can probably even ask we can probably find out. Yeah.
So AY is threatening to not only sue Julius, but anybody or every other person that decides to.
It's not just Julius. Oh, I didn't.
I mean that one. The actual thing was directed
for Julius,
to Julius, but I'm believing that it might just be open to everybody.
Everybody can collect. Everybody.
Yeah. So, I mean, the news or the story about how Julius, not just Julius, the whole everybody is almost seeming like, or not the comedy industry versus EY, but. We know the story
I see what you mean. Actually, I think James, you have a point there. It's almost actually seeming like there's a chunk of the industry that is anti-AY, which kind of disturbs me because it feels, what has he done? I mean, I don't know. You know why? But it could also be again. One of the things where you are in an elevated position, and so you are the one who gets the target. Exactly. You know, to be the best, you feel like you want to go against the best, and the man is in an incredibly juicy position. You know, unlike say Basket, who is the other anti-AY person, by the way, who has his hands in music, has his hands in movies. Well, not movie, he hasn't done movies, like series, TV shows. You know, those are not directly comic fields.
Businesses.
You know, you can infuse it, but it's not typically known as comic. AY actually has stuck to comedy
business.
If I even like to stand up to events. Yes, he also does, exactly, yeah. And he does very, very comic
but still comedy
movies. Yes, exactly, in a way. It's almost like an extension of his. In fact, Akpos was a character that he created with Movie back in the day, and that became the guy the character who also became the star character that we all follow again, the Akpos character through the movies that he's done. So in a way, AY, by sticking to comedy, is the one who has actually used comedy itself, you know, to
all around
exactly, to kind of make the most money you can from this one thing that he does. Basket has diversified. AY is the real person. So it looks, so in a sense, he's number one in the comedy space. And when you're number one in a lot of spaces, nothing that good is that neutral. It's just not possible. That's one thing that's great. It's like how you see a fine girl and some girls hate her because she's not doing anything, but she's just beautiful, you know. So too much beauty, too much money, too much fame is never neutral. You are going to attract certain detractors. It's just how life works. So I think that might also be part of the problem.
Maybe he might not be getting. Maybe it's not. Maybe like he's getting hates or per se, but I just feel like what we're trying to say still is that some people or some even in the same industry with him just have issues with him, no matter how little, no matter how enormous. So, but bottom line is that he put out something on his Instagram saying that he's going to sue. I don't think he has sued. I don't think but he just said he's saying that Julius should stop. Yeah, should
desist. Yes. Don't talk about him otherwise.
Saying false things about him, or else he's going to go ahead and press charges.
Yeah.
But it's what it is.
Like I have a question for you, James.
Go ahead.
As concerning this.
Yeah.
Do you think he should have done that?
Oh yes, I think, because I feel like I feel so, because now I'm sure if he's going to sue, or if he was going to sue, it will be a situation of what's it called, libel. No, there's not libel. This is slander in terms of what Julius is saying about him, because this is about this. AY is a business, is a brand. He's also representing, or has his stake or partnership, so to speak, with a lot of brands, or especially with the ones that sponsor his event every other Easter. So I think that there's a way people talk about you when they start denting your personality, your image, your person. It just sort of might rub off at the end of the day, So I just think that especially when the things they are saying about you, if you stand and you say, oh no, these things are not true about me, and then if you look at it, what are the things that this guy is actually accusing him of? Is accusing him of taking his dates. I just feel like that's something very, very frivolous. But apart from that, we don't know other things or other information that are being spread around, or other rumors that are being spread around about AY. Because I also think that, like I said earlier, that one of the things that I feel like might have really, really be pissed AY off might still be that when Julius was talking about the incident of the phone, AY cutting the phone off him.
On him, okay.
Yeah, that it wasn't now too long that he now took ill, and then was now not feeling well for a long time, and it felt like a lot of things outside crashing out, or going down the hills for him. Some people would mistake or understand that sentence or that description.
You think it's connected?
AY, yes, AY
brought about this
bringing
thing.
out or using juju in quotes for him, and this could be nowhere near the case. And Julius might not be implying that. However, some people can just misunderstand that information and take it that way. AY on his own part just wants to protect himself in terms of, don't stop talking trash about me. Don't talk about me. And then he put out receipts about the same AY show, and I saw Julius was featured on AY Live. Like, if you had a problem with me, if I cut the phone on you at the time, because at what point did Julius now say, AY, why did you pick this date that you know that I've always had my own events? Do you understand? Was it before he started this thing, or he has started and then he now picked your date?
Yeah, so here's where I differ a bit. I think sometimes a lot of these things, business or whatever it is kind of like politics, like they say about politics. No permanent friends, only permanent interests.
Yes.
So maybe, just maybe, what AY puts out doesn't especially negate what AY said, in my own view, or rather what Julius said, because there's a chance that this year, me and James have been doing shows separately for like 5 years, and I do this on this particular date. Sometimes James said, this date, I like this date, so let me go and do my own thing. Because we are not in the same business, we are in the same business field, we are not in the same management or whatever it is. We feel like, okay, I can do whatever I like anyway. I'm a little pissed. I call you, I say, James, how far now? I say you do promotion with this one, and I know that James is on the ascendancy. I feel like, man, I'm not sure I like that you are doing this, so because I also have whatever it is, and we are both comics and we are both top comics, we are splitting the whatever. Before I make my point, you cut the phone. I think that I'm not happy about that, but what I go do now? You're your own person, we let the thing go. However, the year after, or even that same year, another event takes place, and you're like, Oris, come on my show. I might come. And if I do come, because we are guys, we are also not catty, so to speak, we might actually do what I need to do for you, and then that's it. I'm still holding that grudge. I'm still feeling like you have done me bad.
Yes.
But I'm not going to come and say because of that I'm not going to come, because it might even be an advantage for me coming on your platform. So both of them could be right. That's what I'm trying to establish here.
So
they could both be correct.
Let me also tell you, another thing I noticed about the things that AY posted. Yeah. It looks like, that's what pretty much is, that even on some of those dates that this guy did his event, the so-called Laugh of Classic event. Yes. This one was on the 8th of April 2012, and the venue was not even in the country. Can you see? And AY probably had his own event on around that same time. Do you understand? Julius wasn't having his, or didn't have his, in Nigeria. There was also the one that Julius did in Port Harcourt around the same period. Do you understand? But this wasn't even in what's called, it wasn't Easter. Can you see?
Yeah.
The same event. This wasn't Easter. This was March 25th, right?
Yeah.
And AY also had his own event around the same Easter period. Consistency, right? On one of the occasions, even after AY Julius had finished his own event, this is him on stage on AY's own stage, still the same Easter period. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I can understand. You can look at other. You can check AY's post, AY's page for the post, and you can see that these guys were great friends. We were close. We were family friends.
You can see all of this.
Just went sour.
Is this not also how we felt about all of them? About AY and Basket, about AY and Bovi?
No, we didn't feel so about AY and Basket. We didn't know much. We were
no. But even then, you're right. We didn't feel like they were best of friends.
That was the curiosity that brought about the question. Like, wait, I've never seen you.
But that was later. It was later that there was a rumor later. But back in the day when these people started, this 10 years ago, it felt like the comedy business, there was no real problem between them. They were all, yes, they were all felt like, yes, they all felt like they were all young and broke. It's like, it's kind of funny, you know, I'm a writer and I've been a writer for a long time. And before I came to Lagos, I was in Abuja. And I know that all of us who were writers back in the day, we used to have all of these small events in Abuja. And we were all young, all broke, you didn't really know what we were doing and everything. But we were all just hanging out. Today, 10, 12 years after all of that heyday in Abuja, a lot of us, I mean, some of us are no longer as good friends as we were back in the day. Things have just kind of changed. Some people have, of course, Jackpa has taken a few people out. In Lagos, some people are still in Abuja, some people are doing something else entirely, you know. Some of them are still writing. I have a magazine for literature. You know, there's all of this that's happening. And years after, you're like thinking back as to your friendship back in the day, was it really a friendship? Or just the fact that all of you were gathered in a place? So if you were observing us, you would feel like all of us are like cool. But the fact of the matter, even back then, I remember we still had our own small beef. But it doesn't mean that if we had to go and do a book reading or like a poetry reading at somewhere, we would all appear. So I think that there's a sense in which AY is not wrong, but Julius is probably not wrong as well. It's just a case of how you perceive these things. So, but of course, for AY, it feels like, you know what, you people is to be becoming too much. Let me just stop all of that with this threat of legal whatever. But I honestly didn't think you should do it. But I understand that, you know what, maybe it's becoming too much. And again, like you said, as a brand, you know that there's probably one company who's one place looking at all of this and saying to themselves that, do I want to put my name on this guy's next show if there's a lot of these contentions there? Maybe if the earlier you stop it, the better for everyone. So you don't, because you get into a board meeting asking, okay, so that thing happened between you and this guy. You don't want all those kind of questions. You just say, you know what, let's just stop the wala now. So I guess this is showbiz is it's a complicated, complex space.
Can be entertaining and still complicated at the same time.
Exactly.
So the AMVCs, I mean, we haven't really talked about the AMVCs.
Yes.
Nominees are out and everything.
Yes.
I mean, what would you consider the highlight for you?
For me, it is Jadi Oshiberu, Woman of the Year. I think her film Brotherhood, which came out last year, has, and it's now on, I think it's now on Amazon Prime, I think. It's now, it got 11 nominations, which is a big deal. You know, though sometimes you feel like, okay, so let me explain something maybe a little complicated. So, Brotherhood has 11 nominations at the forthcoming AMVCAs for next year. And I know that our most recent film, Gangs of Lagos, also has something to do with, I feel like there's certain similarity between it and a film called Gangs of New York, which is done by Martin Scorsese back in 2002. Now, let's proceed with the joke. Gangs of New York for the 2003 Oscars had 11 nominations too, by the way. And so there's a parallel there. But guess what happened? They didn't win one. Yes, that's the exact response. Wow. So my point anyway, this joke is just to say that, you know what, let's hope that doesn't happen to Jade, you know. But yes, I remember very clearly that Scorsese's film, Gangs of New York, which is very similar in some respects, not a lot, in some respects with Gangs of Lagos, did not get a single Oscar, even if it had 11 nominations that particular year. So now going into the MVCA, Jade has 11 nominations. Let us just hope that at least the film wins some of them. But I think for her, I think it's been an exceptional 1 year. You know, I feel like she has made money because I'm sure that deal, she has a 3-year deal with Amazon. That thing has to be a substantial amount of money, I think, you know. So there's that. She has received some of the greatest reviews I think any filmmaker has had from Nollywood in a long time. And she's done 3 excellent movies within a space of like 12 months. Not done, but released 3 of them in the space of like a year. So in fact, for me, I feel like the other film she did, The Trade, is a better film than Brotherhood, and should be the one getting some of this. But you know how these things work sometimes. The more popular film is the one that gets, even if it's not the best, but it's popular, so it gets all of this attention. So I'm hoping that works out for her. But there's also something else that I feel like I noticed. A lot of the male category for drama and for films and stuff actually has some very, very interesting performances. You can't say the same thing for the women. In fact, if you think about it, the past year, there was Anikula Akpo the Kuleremi, who by the way didn't get nominated, and so people are not happy about that. By the way, that's part of this.
I don't think he is happy about it as well.
Of course, I know that. Nobody will be happy about it. I know that you might not come and say it in public.
It wasn't about happiness or anything. For me, it was just I was surprised that
like, how come?
Yeah, you know.
So he didn't get nominated, and so there's that. But there is Scar from Shantytown,
Yes,
Chidime's supernatural acting role. There is of course there was Kuleremi, but he didn't get nominated. There's Toby Bakri in Brotherhood, which did get nominated. There's
Femi Adebayo.
Yes, Femi Adebayo in King of Thieves, also another outstanding role.
Osu
They just a lot. Yes, what's he where?
Osu KJ in Blackmail.
In Blackmail. Okay, I haven't seen that one.
There's also Richard.
Did I say Blackmail?
Richard Buffett Damage.
I think I saw Blackmail. I can't
4444.
Oh yes, I haven't seen that one either. So those things that we're not really, I don't know, but their hair is on Prime, so I want to actually see that one.
Then Daniel Etim.
Yeah, Daniel Etim in where?
It's called Kofa.
Okay, yes, in Kofa, yes.
Kofa, yeah.
So anyway, these are good performances, but they are not iconic. Last year, this other one, as I said, received massive buzz online. So in my view, Chidi, Blossom in Detroit, which is another Daddy film.
I agree.
What's the other?
Toby Bakri.
Yeah, Toby Bakri, yes.
Yeah, I think
King of Thieves. Then they are the King of Thieves.
Yeah, and King of Thieves. Yeah.
Because when I saw King of Thieves, if you watch these Yoruba movies, you have a certain perception of what's it? Femi Adebayo.
Yes.
You get? And I saw King of Thieves, I was like, okay, throughout the entire thing, it was different and super compelling.
It was.
The guy really did. I was really stunned. So it looks here, but last year I don't think that I saw any female role that you watch it immediately. You're like, oh, okay, that's super. So the character itself is super well written, and the person who's playing it did it convincingly. In fact, I think that since King of Boys, which was 2018 or 2019, we've not had a single iconic female character. I don't think we have. So that's Eniola Salami, played by Toyin Tomato. What's her name? Shola Shobawale, exactly. I don't think since then we've had a single female character in a Hollywood film that people just immediately knew that okay, this was something excellent you're watching. We've not had that since her own. But last year was very good for the men. Very good for the men. Of course,
outstanding.
You are kidding me. No, it was not even close. I say this. I love you in Edo, but no, certainly not.
Not even Osas in Man of God. Why do I feel like Man of God was old?
Yes, maybe because it came early last year. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yes, but yeah, that's another year. So people were saying that Aka from Man of God should have been nominated.
Have you seen Wura?
Wura, no, Wura is a series. It's just on now. No.
Yeah, but she's on the Scarlett Gomez. She's also a nominee.
Oh, okay. Is it for Wura?
Yeah,
but Wura is too new, so I don't know. I don't even know why it's nominated, but I'm not going to argue that one. But anyway, my point is that yes, we've not. Last year was very good for male performances in Hollywood. Very, very good. At least 4 or 3 exceptional actors in exceptional characters, playing exceptional characters. Women, I don't know, something is wrong with the writing. So if there are any female screenwriters or female directors or female actors watching this, watching this, you guys, I think somebody needs to craft something for somebody who just absolutely hits it out of the park. We don't have that at the moment.
Okay, I mean, check out it's online. I'm sure you should have seen it already. The nominees.
Yeah, the list of nominees. Yes.
Yeah. So as the AMVCA 9 actually.
Is it 9?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Last year was 8 because I attended last year's one and it was very big actually. There was a lot of things last year. Invite me this year, AMVCA. People have not invited me, please.
What do you think about Don Jazzy as an actor? If you have to picture, I don't know.
Yes. I've seen him, but I think in the film I've seen him before play. He was kind of playing Don Jazzy.
Okay.
I think it was a Tony film. It was a Tony Amaku film, I think. And is it the same film? But is it either the same film or a different film from her again? Had Peruzzi too in like a cameo role. Also had Davido too.
Is that not him? Is it the prophet? No, not the prophetess.
I think is it Ghost and the Tout maybe?
Ghost and the Tout.
Ghost and Tout too.
Oh, I think so. Yeah,
I think that's it. But yeah, anyway, all of this. So these things are people are not getting. That is not getting. Well, I don't know until we see the film. I don't think it's getting cast because he's a great actor, because he's a good actor. I think it's getting cast because his name is Don Jazzy. So yeah, until I see the film, and then
take that to the bank.
Exactly.
Bankable name.
You guess exactly. So I think that's what is going to. That's what's about to happen. That he's got that role because of who he is. So, but I liked, to be honest, because by the way, this is the background to this is Don Jazzy is supposed to be featured in a film called Introducing the Kujus Part 2.
Yeah.
I had seen the Part 1 3 years or whatever years ago, and I think I liked it actually. It was one of those well-made drama comedies, family dramas, kind, with a lot of comic moments. That's what it was. Timini, Bisola, a bunch of them in that film. And I thought the dynamic between the family. In fact, there's one exceptional scene. There's a scene where they are having, I think it's dinner, and everybody's grievances just starts to flare up. It's kind of like what happened in, I think, in some of those Tyler Perry movies. In fact, a lot of black cinema, both American and Nigerian, I guess, have had certain really great scenes centered around a dining table.
Family.
Yeah, people are eating, and then one person's saying what she doesn't like,
Something,
another
and
person's responding
yes.
somewhere, somebody's getting insulted, and somehow, yes, and it feels like that happens in some families actually.
It does actually.
Exactly, where you feel like
definitely.
now everybody's here, everybody's eating, so there's a bit of vulnerability. Everybody's.
Have you seen that
heightened.
what's that one that had R&D with RMD, Bisola, Ini, like it had even with Grace. Oh. It's, I don't know. It was.
Is it old?
No, it's supposed to be new. RMD as an artist was an artist. I mean, he's an artist in the.
Is it Palava?
Palava, yeah, Palava.
I didn't say Palava.
You didn't say Palava.
I didn't say,
It-
but I would
it
say
had that same
I didn't like
dining,
that
like
same
family
okay.
round
Was it a
table
great scene?
situation. Yeah, I mean, just talking about issues spiraling from
Right, yes.
from just let's have dinner.
Let's have
to
dinner. That small.
everything.
Thing becomes poof.
I mean, and then they break the table and things.
Exactly, yes.
Just saying.
So yeah, that happened, yes, in this film, and I felt like that particular scene was really, really good. So it's one of those, there's no real high ambition. It's not trying to do high art or whatever, but it's just well made. That's what I thought about the original. So I think because of that one's success, that's why you're like, what, let's do a sequel. So if they are lucky and if they are good, it might be as good as the first part. I hope it is, even with Don Jazzy, who I don't know what he's going to do there. But let's hope it works for him and for them. But of course, Don Jazzy doesn't need Nollywood. He's fine.
He's fine, yeah.
They are the ones who want him.
Who need him, yes.
Exactly.
Who wants him? I mean, who asked for him?
Exactly, I'm sure.
Clearly. What do you think about, this Nollywood, talking about Nollywood, and this is
Yeah.
the last story, by the way. What would you think the highest paid actor could be earning?
James wants to cause
For a film?
wahala with this kind of version.
Just what do you think for a film? I mean, put that
For a single
in total
role.
of how many scenes or whatever.
No, I don't know about this. Let's just say for a single role.
Okay.
I think the highest paid might be between. Let me give a range, please. Between 7 to 15. Let's make it 10 to 20.
Million
Yes.
for a. So now, when you look at that,
Yeah, maybe.
which actors do you think might fit that?
There's probably only 3. I don't know. I'm kidding, by the way. Before you now carry me go where I don't know. Maybe RMD combined or whatever. If he's playing like a big role, because again, if he's playing a small role, it's not going to happen.
Okay.
Maybe RMD. Shit, man. Actors. My goodness. Certainly Genevieve.
Okay.
But again, Genevieve has decided not to even collect your money. She wants to do her own films, so she can get everything. Genevieve, RMD. It's hard though.
Will you put
How would you think?
Funke in that? If she's going to be on your movie?
Yeah, okay. Maybe yes, Funke, if she'll be in your film, but there's a chance she will not be. But if she'll be, and she's playing again, not a small role. Yes, because you can, because you're like, auntie, I don't have money, or you only be in 3 scenes. Please manage this 5 million, manage this 3 million. If she likes your face, she might do it. She might, because I know that, of course, industry, like we know, relationships too also counts. I like James.
Yeah.
I normally charge 300k for writing. Because it's James, I will do it for 150, something like that. So that kind of thing happens too. Just I have this small role. Just come and play it. We'll put your face on the poster. That kind of a thing. You can get away with certain things. So maybe her as well.
Lisa Dominic?
Rita might be slightly lower because Rita has been moving away from putting herself, really, really out there like that. So maybe she might not be able to come out as high as.
Okay, I mean, at least we have like an idea of the kind of actors that come to mind first,
for that
right?
kind of figure.
For that kind of figure.
Yeah.
So when you hear Ray
Emodi,
what comes to mind?
Who? That's what comes to mind. Who is that? That's what comes to mind.
So Remodi, counter, or what's it called? Did a post to counter what a certain filmmaker you know,
I'd say that
called
he's
him out
owing at
saying
700,000,
that
700k.
he's owing a refund of 700k
700K.
for a movie role, and then he's saying that that's
Yeah, I don't done her a favor by choosing that because normally he gets paid 10 million.
Exactly.
Jesus.
So I'm wondering what movie comes to mind.
And yeah, Ray is not even one of the people who are famous on the big screen, where is really some of the money comes from, and maybe on streaming. Ray is just a YouTube. I think he's more famous on stuff that happens on YouTube. I don't know that people on YouTube are getting paid that amount of millions, 10 million for a role. I don't see it happening. But like I said earlier,
But when
we
you say
talked about it.
YouTube, I see him on some Africa Magic.
African Magic is even worse. Nobody's getting 10 million. Nobody's getting 10 million on African Magic Productions. I don't know African Magic. You guys are my friends, so please,
I mean, but
don't be
has it
angry.
been on any movie that went to the cinemas? And
That's what I'm saying. I haven't seen it.
Netflix.
I'm sure it probably has, yes. But Netflix, if it was on Netflix, it's like a licensed, not like an original. For a fact, that one I know for a fact because I've probably seen all of
I
the
mean,
originals.
basically, we're saying that nothing.
It doesn't look like
iconic. Nothing. No
yes,
role. No iconic.
nothing iconic
Not
about
even
Ray.
as
As
significant as
whatever.
Toby Bakary, right?
Toby is new, but Toby has been in at least 2 big films over the past year.
Not
So,
even
no.
as significant as Timini Egusu.
Certainly not.
So, do you think that it was all crocodile tears, even though he said no when he came up to say?
The video was just for me even just embarrassing. Why the hell are you crying over it? Give the girl back her money, for God's sake. There's another thing about Nigeria.
He said he has paid the money back.
Oh, he has
That
now.
wasn't from his own account; it was from somebody else's. The way he said it.
Sure. Well, you should have explained that to her because this was not necessary at all. You don't do the thing. Give person money back. I don't know. That's what people Nigerian businesses. They hate refunds. You won't do the business. You want to still keep the money.
So he
Why?
said the girl has gotten her money back a few
I
minutes
saw
ago.
it there. I mean,
My
there's
tears
minutes
are
ago.
not fake. They're not crocodile. Anyway,
Okay,
guys,
Alec.
what do you make out of that particular? I don't know if
I
that's the
make
episode.
one word
anyway.
ridiculous out of it. So, but you guys tell us what you make out of that whole nonsense exchange.
It's a wrap. Guys, we'll catch you guys on the next one. It's
Yeah.
James Salas
And it's
here,
Oris.
and this is Oris here, and we'll see you on the next one. Comment, subscribe, share. Let us know what you think about the stories, and we'll be here to respond back.
All right.
Peace.
Peace, guys.